everybody, and welcome to the Football Philosophy channel. What a performance yesterday from United. I absolutely couldn't believe it. What a game. Manchester City 0, Manchester United 2. We've not been in the best of form. Okay, the 0-0 draw at Stamford Bridge, I was quite happy with that. Keeping Chelsea, keeping them at arm's length, as I said, keeping them 6 points behind us. But either side of that game, a 0-0 draw with Real Sociedad, bit of a drab affair at Old Trafford, even though we were already through in that game and obviously 4-0 up from the first leg. But then a 0-0 draw at Palace was a bit of a disaster really the other night. So I didn't really expect it. But look, on the bright side, it's amazing how quickly these things can turn around. Because if you just take the clean sheets out of those 3 games, and then obviously beating City 2-0, 4 clean sheets on the bounce sounds like a big step in the right direction. Very impressed with Dean Henderson in goals. Not particularly great saves or fantastic saves to make, but he just seems to have such a calm assurance about him, I feel, and I feel as though that spreads through the defenders, or through the defence, I should say. And I think David De Gea might just have a little bit of a job getting his place back if he's going to be missing the next couple of games, and it goes equally as well for the next couple of games, which I don't see why it shouldn't really. He might well have a real job fighting for his place back with Hendo when he comes back in. So yeah, very, very pleased with Dean Henderson in goal. The back 4, all class. I'll be doing the rating show tonight, so I won't be rating the players now, but I will say 1 or 2 things about different players. All the back 4 I thought were superb, and I think Luke Shaw probably the pick of the bunch again. A brilliant goal by Luke Shaw. The way he moved onto that ball when Henderson threw it out to him and took it, beat the oncoming man, I think it was Cancelo, beat him by knocking it past him with his body, was just pure class. And then running through the middle of the field virtually till he got into the box and passing it to Rashford. Marcus took a touch and gave it him back, and he drilled it into the far corner. It was a brilliant goal, it really was. He'd had a shot in the first half, Luke, from inside the box quite early on, not long after we'd scored. He almost put us 2-0 up, and that was a decent effort, I think, with his right foot, I seem to remember as well. So not just his defensive work, Luke Shaw, yesterday, but brilliant going forward as well. I thought McTominay was a colossus in midfield. I really did. Fred was decent, perfectly fine, but I think McTominay took the biscuit, if you like, in the centre of midfield. I thought he was a colossus. I really did. Obviously, he's a big, strong lad, but he just seems to win the ball much more easily, and I think it just gives him that. He's got a little bit more calmness, a bit more assuredness about him. He gets it and he turns and keeps people away from the ball so much more easy. I think because he uses his frame, which obviously he's got more so than Fred's got. And I think McTominay was, well, for me, he was comfortably the pick of the 2 midfield players. And then further forward, great to see Anthony Martial getting some plaudits for a change. Fantastic with his back to goal. Really good on the ball in the first half. I saw the stats at half time. He had a 100% pass completion in the first half, which is staggering for a number 9, by the way. It really is something for a number 9. I've often seen it where he's had 90%, 92%, and that's brilliant for a striker. I think that 100% that he had in the first half was helped by the fact that we didn't get as much of the ball as we would have liked. After the first 10 minutes, we opened up really brightly, but after that first 10 minutes, we didn't get a lot of the ball. So obviously, with the team not getting a lot of the ball, the number 9's probably starved of the ball really. So that helps him to get 100% pass completion. But still, that really is something for a number 9, and it was nice to see. Well, I think Gary Neville gave him man of the match, and I thought it was thoroughly deserved. Great to see that, and Dan James back in as well. Flex asked me on the fan cam whether is he just okay on against teams where we might be able to play on the break. Should he play against low block teams? And I answered him, we just need to play our better players. And I've been saying this for a long time. Dan James as a winger if you're going to use wingers, which I believe we do use wingers, it's just different types of wingers. Marcus likes to cut in and shoot. Mason on the other side, he likes to cut in and shoot. But if you want, an old-fashioned winger to me is somebody who's going to try and terrorise the fullback. He's not going to know which way he's going to go, and if he goes, I mean, it was different yesterday. But if he's going to try and go past his man, like he did do a couple of times against Chelsea, and get the ball over. That you need somebody who's quite happy to go past somebody on the outside and do that job, and I don't think really it suits Mason, and I don't think it suits Marcus. So, I'm not saying that Dan James is a much better footballer than other players, but as a winger, he's a much better winger, and if we're going to play a winger, Dan James is the man. He should be an automatic starter for me. And I don't care whether you're playing against a low block team or whether you're playing against a team on the break. And the energy that he puts into it as well, Dan James, he's so quick. He's a real bonus to the team. And to me, I've got to be honest, it's not even close. It's not even close. He just looks a different level to me as a winger compared to the two lads who keep him out of the team all the time. And I'm glad to see that there was quite a few people giving Dan James credit yesterday. I've just mentioned there that is he okay against a low block? Well, it's not going great for us against the low block teams. I mean, he's been doing well for us, Dan James. He played at Stamford Bridge. Obviously, that's not playing against a team that playing a low block, but we drew 0-0, and that was what we were hoping to get a draw there. Obviously, we would hope to have won, but it went fine. But then we left him out at Crystal Palace. We drew 0-0 again. Well, obviously that's a different style of game. So, it went badly without him. He also wasn't in favour only a few weeks ago. He didn't play against Sheffield United. He didn't play against West Bromwich Albion. So, let's just stick with it for a while. That's what I say. Whoever we're playing against, I believe Dan James is the best winger in the club, and I think Dan James should be playing on whichever wing you choose him on. Sometimes you might want to use Greenwood on the right. If he's going to do that, then put James on the left. If he's going to use James on the left, then put Greenwood on the right, perhaps, and let Marcus have a rest occasionally. Then don't pick Greenwood so often, and just let Dan James get more. I believe he should be getting more minutes, a lot more minutes, and I've been saying that for a long time. And I was pleased with his performance today. Yesterday, I should say. Yes, so that was that. Brilliant 2-0 win, superb. The other games yesterday, I said before the games that West Brom needed to beat Newcastle, and they drew 0-0. I think West Brom are in the relegation zone now, and I don't think they're going to get out of it. They drew 0-0, and it's left them on 18 points. Newcastle have got to 27 points with that, so the 9 points between Newcastle and West Brom. Brighton are on 26 points and Fulham are on 26 points. I think West Brom are now going to be relegated, and either Newcastle, Brighton or Fulham will join them. But Fulham, they got a 1-0 win at Liverpool. I said on the show yesterday morning that I thought Fulham had a good chance of getting something there. Obviously, Liverpool's form hasn't been so good recently. 60 feet on the bounce now at Anfield for a team who are the champions, who won the Champions League the year before that. It really is mind-boggling what can happen in football. 60 feet on the bounce never happened in the club's history. And just to say that you're not even surprised that Fulham have gone there and won is unusual when you think about it. So great win for Fulham, and that's put them onto 26 points, the same as Brighton, and they're both 1 point behind Newcastle now. So it's really tight at the bottom there. And then obviously we kicked off. We were the 4:30 game, and then in the evening there was the Spurs Palace game. Spurs beat Palace 4-1. Another 2 goals for Gareth Bale, so he started popping the goals in. I didn't see a lot of that game. I saw some of it. I saw the highlights on Match of the Day as well. He looks really bright, Gareth Bale. One of his goals was superb. The way he played the ball one way, and then he made a dart into the box. And when he made a dart into the box, it was played over to the far post, and he turned and went a bit nearer to that post then. And Harry Kane headed it back into him. It really was a good goal by Gareth Bale. He's looking the part. So Gareth Bale got 2, Harry Kane got 2, and Spurs beat Palace 4-1. So I don't think Spurs are going to go away too easily. I think Spurs are going to be chasing down that top 4 spot. So the top 4 really is tightening up. Great win for us, and such an important win really. Now that we've got, I would have accepted a point, of course I would, but now that we've taken the 3 points and it's put us on 54 points, obviously we've leapfrogged Leicester again. We're going to point above Leicester. But tonight there's 2 games. There's Chelsea versus Everton at 6 o'clock on BT, and there's West Ham versus Leeds at 8 o'clock on Sky. Chelsea and Everton, very interested in the top 4, obviously. Chelsea 47 points from 27 games, and Everton 46 points from 26 games. If either of those 2 teams win it, they'll be sniffing around the second spot even. So I think we've got to be looking over our shoulders. We need to put a winning run together. Our next league game is West Ham. We can ill afford to lose that one or even draw that one. Really, we want to try and win that one next weekend. So it really is hotting up for the top 4 races. Probably 6, maybe 7 teams who are chasing 3 spots. Obviously not 4 spots, because City are nailed on for the title, let alone the top 4. So that's that. I'll be back this evening. Just a quick show this morning. I'll be back this evening with the ratings show. As I said in the ratings in the last game, or the player in focus last time, I said that I would be putting up the 4 defenders, so I won't change that. I thought they all played quite well. I always say that I don't like doing the ratings until I've re-watched it. I haven't watched it again yet. I'll hazard a guess. I think the defence all played really well. I'm probably going to be giving Wan-Bissaka an 8. I would think Maguire an 8 and Lindelof an 8, and I'll probably make. I don't often give a 9 out, but I'll probably be giving Luke Shaw a 9, which is outstanding on my rankings. That's how I'm looking at it at the moment. I'm not saying that's concrete or nailed on. I'll be watching the game back and then I'll be doing that. But those 4 players, as promised, I'll be putting those up to be voted on to actually be the player in focus. So I'll be back this evening with the rating show. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you've enjoyed that little show. If you've enjoyed it, please tell all your friends. Please subscribe. If you didn't enjoy it, don't tell anybody. Keep stum.